Happy New Year. Happy 2021. This is how I leveled up and polished up before 2021. So I hope this story helps someone because this has truly been a remarkable journey. I'm sure that this is probably going to be part one video. So if it is, just make sure you watch the part two if it ends up being long. So I'm gonna just tell y'all my story started out in the end of 2018 when things was getting rough. I was at rock bottom, just really going through the motions. When something was going on with me, it wasn't one thing. It was multiple things at one time. Like all of the things that was going on, I felt like were the worst things ever. I'm like, it's nobody else going through stuff like this. But after all that stuff was going on, I just really started saying, maybe it's because I haven't been connecting to God. So I started going on this journey where I really wanted to connect and get closer to God. And throughout this process, I was able to go on this inner journey for self-discovery to find out my true authentic self. I was led through a path of self-discovery, a remarkable journey I will never forget. Who knew I would lead to a point of this journey? I mean, it's been so much stuff, but I found my authentic truth, and I hope that one day each and every one of you can do so as well. So, with this transformation, I can truly say it was a little scary, it was a little questionable, it made you doubt, it made you have fear, it made you have some disbelief, but I made it through, and I'm so thankful for that. So let me just get right to it. What led me to seek and search? So just about a year ago, a little over a year, I was working paycheck to paycheck. I was working 9 to 5, working from home. I was working different jobs, but to start off the story, I was working, at a regular job. And I was really getting up at 6 a.m. because I had to be there around 6, 7 in the morning, and I was getting off at 6:30. So mind you, first thing in the morning, we was getting up, running late because I'm just always was so tired, because I'm doing so many different tasks. Just to let y'all know, yeah, I'm a single mom of 3 kids, so I was doing my thing. I'm actually was the one that was like a multitasker, doing a little bit of everything. So with this job, I was going in, getting off at 6:30. The daycare my kids were going to was at 6:30, getting off too. So it was like every day I was like through traffic, fighting through traffic, rushing, speeding, every day late picking my kids up. They were the last ones at the daycare. So eventually that ended up coming to an end because the child care director who had to stay after they closed to wait on me to come pick my kids up, she got tired of it and she said, you know what, honey, you're going to have to find something else. So I did that, even though I was like, dang, she didn't I feel like she didn't understand that I was trying my hardest. Like I was getting speeding tickets. My license got suspended in the mix of all this rushing, traveling back and forth, and just going from one side of town to another. But I was speeding, getting tickets. My license got suspended at one time. I got that cleared up. But after that, it happened again because I was driving with no insurance because I was like, trying to make ends meet, didn't have enough for all the bills. My rent was about almost $800 a month. Wasn't getting any type of assistance or food stamps or none of that at this time. And all of that stuff was just overwhelming. So like I was just doing my thing and I got fed up. I got to a point where it was so much going on where I was like, something gotta give. I gotta do something different if I want something different. So instead of me working a regular job, I was like, you know what? I want to start working from home. I need to be with my kids because after the daycare center kicked us out, I ended up having to find a child care provider that was doing a sitting from home. That definitely didn't work. We went through a few sitters and I have different stories, but I'm not even gonna go there. But none of that was working. I said I need to be home with my kids. I want to spend time with my kid. All I was doing was working, coming home, cook, clean, go back to sleep, do the same thing over. I feel like I'm not even able to spend time with my kids. So I was like, one day I decided I want to work from home. Didn't have the job yet, but I knew that was what I wanted. That was the vision I had back then at that time frame. So what I did was when tax time came, I went and got all the equipment I needed. First, I did my little research. I wrote things down. I made that list. I went and got everything I needed, the desk, the laptop. Then I found out I needed a computer. I got that. Everything I needed, a headset. And while I was doing this, of course, it was some people that knew me, and they were like, it's hard to get a work from home job. You sure you want to do that? Da 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 da. You know, it was a lot of different outside noise, but I stuck to my vision, and I knew that was what I wanted to do. I persisted through that. So I went and got a work from home job that did work well for a while, but unfortunately it did lead up to a few little problems. So for one, it was the issue with me having to get my children off of the bus in the evenings when they got out of school. I didn't have anyone else to help me with that. So with working from home, and there's probably other jobs that do it as well, but they had a schedule adherence. So with my break, where around the time when my kids would get off of school, they didn't allow me to get out and just do what I needed to do, of course, because it's a job. I had this one supervisor that was working with me, but she ended up leaving the company, got a new supervisor who wasn't with it. She wasn't working with me. So they expected me to take my break at different times each day when I had to get my child at one time throughout the day. So, of course, I had to do what I had to do. I was leaving to get my child from off the bus, coming back and starting back with my calls. That didn't work. They ended up firing me for not following the schedule, taking my breaks at a set time. So, moving forward, I got another work from home job. That was going well. I had my last daughter, my baby girl, and she was about 4 months while I was still working from home. And this was like a brand new mother all over again, because it's like I started over. So my oldest is 11 and my youngest is 3. So anyway, that was a challenging position. That particular work from home job had me on camera, and I was pretty much like being watched throughout my whole shift. While I was on the clock, I was on the camera. So of course, as a mom, you're going to make bottles, you're doing this, you're doing that, trying to still juggle doing both. I was doing that. What happened? Lost that job. You know what I'm saying? It was like nothing I was doing was working. And I was trying my hardest, doing different things. So I started like getting helpless. You know, I was like, I don't want to work for nobody. Like, it's always something. That's how I was thinking. And I was like, I just want to be an entrepreneur. I want to work for myself. So I started doing different side hustles, trying to, make some money here and there, get my hustle and grind on. I started driving for Lyft. And that was real fun. I started really getting to meet many different people, connecting with people, just vibing. And I really liked that. I was like, this is cool. I could see myself really doing this. So long story short, in the mix of me doing that, which was a little better, it was still rough, because I was with no job trying to do that, paying all the straight bills. Even though it was decent money, it wasn't, quite as much. Working in South Carolina. So overall, with all of that going on, I ended up losing my grandmother. And when she passed away, I remember when I went down to Baltimore, Maryland, and that was where she was living. After the funeral, something clicked in me. My mind did a 360, and I decided to literally just do things different. So for one, I decided to take action. I went and jumped and took a leap of faith, and I moved. I straight left South Carolina. It was like overall, I felt like a lot of people were turning against me during that time frame. When I was at my hardest, I really kind of saw who was there for me, who was down for me, and who really just pushed me aside. So of course, I kind of started pushing away, and I really started like flipping on everybody. I was getting into it everybody. Like, I just kind of disappeared off the scene from a lot of people. I was going through a lot. It was my phase and time of life where I needed to get myself together. I needed to search for who I really was, and that's what I did. So I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, not saying that that's a better state than South Carolina, but it was a little more going on. And the whole thing is, sometimes you got to leave your environment and do something different if you want something different. Sometimes it's only about that point or that phase in life where you're taking action, where you're taking that leap of faith, where you're trusting God, you're trusting that you can do these things that you want to do. So I felt like it was nothing left in South Carolina for me at that point. Just everything was going on. And I decided to move, but little did I know that things was going to be a little bit rougher when you starting from scratch, moving to another state. And my plan was I was going to make my money doing Lyft because I was already going back and forth to Charlotte, driving and making way more money. So I'm like, okay, I might could do this full time. You never know, you know. So I was getting good money. Things was going okay. I actually decided to live in a hotel. It was a decent hotel, but not, the best. It wasn't no rundown hotel, but, I was doing that, making my money, making food work, doing our thing. And, it was like it started slowing down. So I started panicking. I was like, okay, maybe I might need to get a job. I started losing faith and trust. So I was like, maybe I'll get a little job, and in the meantime, I'll just save that money up and get a place out here, transition. That was the plan. But with all that happening and going on, things started slowing down. It was going up and down. But really, not only was it slowing down, it only kind of slowed down for a period of a few weeks. The major thing was childcare once again. It was a situation with that in Charlotte as well. And by me not knowing really many people there, I really didn't have many options. So it's kind of like I didn't have a way to work because I didn't have childcare. And I'm out here in a whole nother state, not knowing what to do. I had my little hustles, but it's like, how can I do that without a child care sitter? I ended up starting to ride my kids in a car in the back seat, doing Lyft, picking up people and telling them straight up, like, I'm doing what I got to do, And I had one person snitch on me, but I didn't get removed from the program or anything. I kept pushing. But then as things started going through the motions of everything, there goes more trouble. I ended up losing my car because I got set up. That's a whole nother story for another day. I got set up, lost my car that I had the title for. So it was just a lot. But before I even lost the car, I didn't even get to the part where overall I was sleeping in my car. The nights that I couldn't make enough money for the hotel with driving Lyft, I was sleeping in my car. So some nights I didn't even have money for the hotel. Some nights, I didn't. But I always made that money for food. I made money to keep us going, but it was hard, It was a phase of life that I was down at rock bottom. So over the time of me going through all this different stuff, I kept praying. I was like on my knees every night crying because I felt like it was nobody else to turn to, nowhere else to go. I had to find out, God, what is it that you're trying to show me? Because it was like he knocks me all the way down. He stripped me all the way apart to get my attention. And I will never forget when I met this lady from work and I ended up seeing her throughout this journey. I saw her in a store and she asked me how I was doing, and I really broke down and cried to her, and I told her a little bit of what I was going through and what I had going on. She ended up telling me something I would never forget. She said, honey, you cannot keep running from your purpose. She's like, you have a calling on your life. It's much more out there than what you think. You keep running, but God is calling you, and he going to keep getting your attention until you wake up, until you get, to that point. So I listened to that. But of course, you got to experience stuff to really get it, to really, understand it. So time passed, things was going a little rough, and overall, I started getting answers. Like when I was praying, overall, I was getting answers and getting clarity. The more and more I started, it went from being confused to being curious. I was curious for answers. Every time I was praying and asking God, I started really asking things and questions straight out. So what I learned through this process is every time I was asking questions and being humble, and when I surrendered to really try to seek within, when I really tried to find out what was going on in my life, the answers started coming. I started hearing things. I started hearing a voice telling me stuff, and it was comforting. It was a little strange at first, but it was comforting. I started really getting more in tune to my intuition, started hearing things. I started seeing white feathers. It was a lot of different strange things going on, but most importantly, the message overall that I was getting was different signs through numbers, situations, and messages through other people. I was seeing 1111 a lot. Every day almost. Every single day. So I started praying, what is this? What does this mean? You know, I was just really doing my hard down search of praying, asking for answers, and I started reading a lot, studying a lot, trying to find out what all this stuff meant. So come to find out the 1111 was spiritual awakening. And oh my goodness, the more I knew, the more I grew. The more I started questioning and asking and trying to learn, it was like knock and ye shall find. Seek, seek what you want to seek, and that answer is going to come to you. So with all of this stuff that was going on, I started stumbling upon my self-awareness, my soul's awakening, the spiritual awakening. That process has truly been remarkable for me, and that was a transformation. I now am able to make it through anything because I finally found myself, I found my purpose, and I've been manifesting truly the life of my dreams now. I'm finally able to say, like, I'm happy, I'm peaceful, I'm full of joy, happiness, and abundance and prosperity. Like, life has really changed, and I can now say that I'm actually a millionaire now. Like, things has drastically changed. That's going to be another story, actually. I cannot wait to get to that point. That's another story. One day I'm going to explain that. That's another whole story of how I became a millionaire. But overall, this story here is just to motivate anyone that's going through hard times, and just, if you want to not go through the same cycle in life, everybody, y'all just need to wake up. Wake up and polish up. It's more out to this world than what y'all think it is. The fear, the doubt, the disbelief, all that stuff has to be polished away. If you really want to have a vision, have a dream, and be able to go after that, you got to really change your mindset. Like, it's one thing of being in that fixed mindset. That fixed mindset is what holds us back. That holds us back from our destiny. I had to go through hard times, down the rock bottom, like down to the lowest of the lowest, to finally find this out after over 30 years. I'm 31 now, but this all happened while I was 30, 29, and really a little bit before that too. But I'm so just thankful. Like, I'm thankful to finally be able to say, like, I really made it through a lot of hard times that really changed me for the better. So if y'all are wondering what all of this is about, this is what I'm now here for. I'm here to help everybody polish through and make it through these hard times in life. And I couldn't be more happier and grateful for the life that I now have. I mean, it's just so much blessings and abundance in this world if you start thinking better. When you want something better, you got to do something better, and you got to change your mind. Stop letting these limiting beliefs, these fear, doubt, insecurity, all this stuff hold you back. Stop hanging in the wrong environment. You got to do the inner work. A lot of people are afraid to do the inner work and go on their journey, but they always talk about and judge other people. You wonder how people get successful. Oprah, Jim Carrey, like Beyonce, Jay-Z, like different people, they telling you to wake up. Stop judging everybody else and focus on yourself. Get yourself together. And that's truly something that y'all need to realize. So once again, I'm Policies with Bliss. I'm here to help you get through this. If y'all resonated with this video, if you like this video, if you really felt interested in what I had to say, just be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Policies with Bliss. That's Policies_with_bliss. And go ahead, subscribe to my new YouTube channel, because we going in this new year with no fear. 2021 has just begun, and I'm here to polish up the mind so you can get on your grind. I need all my women, all my millennial moms to get into sisterhood, stay strong, and stick together. Stop all this judging and criticizing everybody. We all supposed to be in for the win. Get polished in for the win, y'all. And I really hope y'all love this video. I'm telling you, it has been a wonderful time sharing my story. I finally feel like a weight has been lifted off my chest. But don't worry, this was only scratching the surface. I have plenty more stories to tell. If anybody watching this video knows me personally, y'all know what I went through. So, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. Thank you so much for watching, and y'all enjoy your new year.